Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, the Fresh King Benjamin!
You guys, that's all I've got. That's all I've got. You guys, I'm so happy you're all here. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out. Give it up for your openers. Give it up for Becca. Give it up for Mark. Give it up for Tyson. Oh my God. Oh, you guys feel so good right now. You guys feel as good as it felt when I got a blowjob on my wedding night. I don't want to brag or anything, but it happened. And when I got this blowjob, we said a prayer first. We did, because we wanted it to be a righteous blowjob. A blowjob that was worthy of God's grace. And so we prayed and we said, Heavenly Father, please bless this blowjob to nourish and strengthen our bodies. And then I prepared. Okay. I prepared. And she came over, and she took my penis in her hands. And she looked at it with a little bit of trepidation. I'm gonna go over here so that these guys can see. She was doing this. And then she steeled herself. And then I immediately came in her face. You guys, that was the first time anyone had seen my penis, let alone gone to it. They should call them something else if that's not what you're supposed to do. Because how are those of us that grew up without porn supposed to know? How are we supposed to know? And she got better at it too. Like over the next couple of months, she started to practice. She had like a hot and a cold that she would do. And I'm telling you guys, that tingle's different. It's pretty nice. Now there's like a nice warm breeze that blows through, and I'm like, woo, woo. She had something she called the marathon. And then she'd shit herself. I'm just kidding, you guys. We didn't know that that was an option. We didn't know. My favorite was called the Labradoodle. But sadly, the blowjobs stopped. They did, because we went to an institute. We went to an institute class. Have any of you been to an institute class? A couple of you? Yeah, you get it. So we went to the institute class, and they told us that blowjobs were an abomination. They did, and so the blowjobs stopped. And so did our marriage. You guys are fun. I'm so glad you're here. I want to get a sense of who's here, though, so make some noise Make some noise if you are a current, active, believing member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Damn it, I was really hoping that we would get some here. Because I wanted to have someone that would like hold me accountable to righteousness. And you guys are just gonna like encourage me to be wicked. I might be wicked. I might do some wicked things, you guys. I actually did some wicked things a little bit earlier. I made out. Yeah, I used tongue. Yeah, they call it French kissing. I don't know if you guys have heard of it or not. I've recently learned about something called Australian kissing, which is like French kissing, but you go down under. Which sounds fun. Where are my ex-Mormons at? Yes! Yes! Good job, you guys! Good fucking job. You guys, we did something really hard. We did something really hard, which was that we left a cult to join a better cult. Ex-Mormons really are the only group that could make leaving a cult a cult. You guys, we've done it. And where are I'm glad that you guys are here because you're my people. Like you're my tribe. And I would actually like to declare myself your prophet and king. If you're willing, you don't have to accept, but the nice thing about declaring myself prophet and king is that nobody can fact check that shit. Right? Like I can just prophesy whatever I want. And I mean, do you know that God didn't tell me to say that? And I actually have the tools for prophecy right here in my pocket. Do you guys know what I have in my pocket? This is an actual seer stone. I dug it up from the ground. I saw it in a dream and it came to me. We might use that a little bit later. If it needs to if God needs to get a hold of us or anything. Ex-Mos, I'm glad you're here. Where are my no-mos at? Oh, thanks for coming, you guys. Thanks for coming. I hope to explain some things to you while you're here, because I know that you're all confused. You're like, what the heck is going on with all these space castles? Why can I not buy alcohol in the grocery store? And what the fuck is soaking? And more importantly, why the fuck is soaking? Why? Does anyone not know what soaking is? Yes! Oh my God. That actually makes sense. This is my lesbian crew. Thanks for coming, you guys. I actually really want to be a lesbian. I'm hoping that they'll let me into their club. But I have to get like 30 signatures. And I haven't gotten it yet. But you don't know what soaking is. Okay, that makes sense. So I'll explain it to you. So when a man loves a woman, which I get, that's like I've already lost you. Okay, when a Mormon man, when a Mormon boy wants to be intimate with a Mormon girl and they don't want to break the law of chastity, they will sometimes they'll just do that. That's the whole thing. Because apparently it's the thrusting that is wicked, right? So no thrusting, not wicked. Thrusting, wicked. In case it wasn't clear. I actually feel a little bit jealous of all of you LDS Mormons who got to soak. Because I didn't even, what are you talking about? Listen, let me tell you. Listen to the words of my mouth. You guys, my name is Sam. If you know, you know. This is why I think soaking is fun. Are you ready? It's because when I was a kid, have I established that I grew up on a Mormon polygamist compound? You guys know that, right? So that's my background, right? So when Tyson was like, he's hardcore Mormon, it's true, I was. Like the hardcore shit that they write like documentaries about. But they didn't give me any documentaries, which kind of sucked. Anyway, as a young polygamous boy on the compound, I would have loved to know that soaking was an option. Because all we could do was sit very far away from each other and look. Which, because we were all related, was actually fine. It was actually just fine. It was just fine. I'm gonna put that down because I want a staff of righteousness. Anyway, as a kid, I would have thought that soaking was great. And as an adult, I still think it's pretty hot. Because, can you imagine being so turned on, like so horny, that you are willing to risk the wrath of everlasting God to just do this? Knowing that if you sneeze, you are fucked. You guys, that is kinky as fuck. Oh, that's hot. I just took away my staff's boner. Anyway, that's why I wish that I would have known about soaking. It would have been pretty great. So I did grow up polygamist. That's news to you, I think. I'm kind of surprised that you came, because that's kind of my whole shtick. Yeah. You love that I grew up polygamist?
Well, I'm fascinated by it.
Are you like pro-polygamy?
No. We live in the same neighborhood.
Oh, you and I do. Oh, sweet. So you saw the Daybreak fight. Oh my God. How many of you guys heard about the Daybreak fight? Is that why you're here? Okay, so let me tell you. Oh my God, there's like magical connections happening all over the place. So this is what happened. So I posted in my in my neighborhood Facebook group. In our neighborhood, yeah. What's your name? Ashley. Okay, Ashley and I are from the same neighborhood, our neighborhood. And in our group, I posted about this show. And I just said, hey, you guys, like, I'm a local comic. I grew up on a Mormon polygamous compound. Like, I'm pretty funny. Come hear me. I'm like so-so. Like, I'm working on it. I have a couple of jokes. I have 3 jokes. You should come to my show and we'll have a good time. And most everyone was lovely. Most everyone was like, oh, you're so great. But there were a couple who were not. And I will give you one guess about who they were. One of them was a lady named Karen. It was, but it was a Utah Karen, and so her name was spelled CHAIRXWYNZ. And she got on there and she said, it is a shame that people will come to your show and get the wrong idea about the LDS Church. They should read the Book of Mormon, and then they'll get the right idea. And I was like, if they read the Book of Mormon, they'll think that you guys are white supremacists. Sorry, guys. Like when the brown people are the bad guys. That's not great. That's not great. It doesn't bode well for the Mormons or the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Which I will do because I respect them, and I think that when people tell you that they want to be called something, that you should call them that thing. Right? Right? So I've decided I'll stop calling them Mormons as soon as they call people they, them. That's some more pandering. And honestly, like, here's the thing about that, you guys, is that, like, it's easier to go from he to she. Like, that's a smaller ask for me. Because if, like, you were a he and now you want to be a she, he, she. See, super easy, I just did it. But if I used to call you Mormon, and you're telling me now you want me to call you a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? I'm not saying that I won't do it. I will. But it's just a little bit bigger ask than the queers are making. I think it's a little bit less. Anyway, in our Facebook group, in our neighborhood's Facebook group, I got in there. Karen said that. I was like, Karen, I'm really glad you're here. I think that there's enough room for all of us in Utah. Hearts and hugs. And then I left it alone, and the ex-Mormons came to my rescue. And they were like, you will not assault our friend on Facebook. Don't you know that you're in a cult, Karen? You're in a cult. You're in a cult, Karen. Get out. Karen was a little surprised. She didn't know. No one had told her. And now she's free. I'm just kidding. She deleted her post and left. The comments got turned off. They did, yeah. So actually, I was pretty stoked because what happened, I think that's why maybe some of you are here, because what happened is it got into a bit of a fight. There were a couple of other people who were angry. One of them told me that I was soapboxing in a 3-paragraph Facebook comment. Right? I was not soapboxing. I was just inviting people to a nice show where I would soapbox. Now I'm soapboxing. Like I was saying like, hey everybody, come over here and I'll soapbox over here if you want to. And all of you guys wanted to. It was my monthly business post. My monthly business post. I was okay to do it. I get to do it once a month. Yeah. So that's how I almost got canceled for just having a childhood. I do think it's a little funny that, it's like when I didn't say anything about them, right? I didn't say anything about the Mormons. I didn't say anything about members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I was just talking about me. And it's just hilarious to me when people are like, oh my God, you're talking about me. No, we weren't, buddy. If you talk about that, people will think the Mormons are crazy. They'll know. They already know. We all already know. There's a musical about it. Like, we all know. Anyway, but I did grow up in what I consider to be the 7th layer of Mormon hell, which is Mormon polygamy. I was a member of something called the Apostolic United Brethren, the AUB. Do I have my AUB peeps here tonight? Yes, you guys, we are the chosen ones. Of all of the chosen, so like, just so you guys know, like all of you guys are like telestial and terrestrial. We are celestial beings. We are going to the tippity top of Mormon heaven where we will make planets together. Did you know they took planets away from the LDS church? I know, you don't get a planet anymore. Yeah, which I feel like is massive like fraud. Like, can you imagine being a believing Mormon for your entire life? The reason why is you're like, I'm just gonna have a fucking planet, and then they take it away from you at like 85? That would suck, you guys. That would be so annoying. Don't worry, in my religion, the one that you guys are all now joining, if you want to, you get a planet. Everybody gets a planet. Planets for everyone. In fact, if you look under your chairs right now, there's a planet. I think a planet is a pretty cool gift, right? Like other Christian groups are like, look, if you're righteous, you won't burn in hell. And the Mormons are like, look, if you're righteous, you get a planet. I don't know why they went back on that. Kind of a bummer. But I did. I grew up in Mormon polygamy. I grew up in Wyoming. Thanks, you guys. Yeah, polygamy hits different in Wyoming. It really does. They don't have documentaries. They don't have Netflix shows about you. You just have cold, cold winter and 17 moms. I'm just kidding. I have 3 moms. But I wish I had 17 so that it sounded more impressive. People want to know what it was like, so they'll ask me questions. They'll be like, what was it like growing up polygamist? And that's why you're here, actually, Ashley. So let me tell you. So I got stared at a lot in Costco. Yeah. You've probably done this, right? Like you walk in and you see like a gaggle of like 17 or 18 little piglets and a couple of sturdy bitches with the braids, right? And you're like, babe. Everyone turns into shitty ventriloquists when the polygamists are around. Babe. There's a polygamous. Babe. Caca! It's a polygamous. That one has a knife in her boot. You guys, we can see you. And I honestly don't know why you're like so afraid of polygamists. It's not like polygamy is contagious. It's not like you have to social distance or you'll catch another wife. 6 feet or 6 wives, you decide. Polygamists are not that bad. And honestly, guys, here's the truth. For every one polygamist that you've seen in Costco like that, there are 6 that you didn't even notice. Right? Because a lot of polygamists look kind of like me. I know I look sort of like Joseph Smith got resurrected as a gay trucker. I debated whether or not I was going to perform with my porn elbows out, but I figured I'd make you guys buy me dinner first. Anyway, most polygamists don't look like that. In fact, there are probably a couple of polygamists here tonight. If you're looking around trying to spot a dude with 3 wives, you're doing it wrong. Wives 1 and 2 didn't come out tonight. They're at home doing laundry. He only brought wife 3 because she's fun and new and 12. I'm just kidding, you guys. They don't marry 12-year-olds. The youngest wives that I knew were 14. Or as the LDS Church says, several months shy of their 15th birthdays. When I left the compound, I left in 2007. And it was honestly kind of hard to come out in 2007 because you all were a lot more judgmental back then. But now I tell people that I was raised polygamous and they're like, cool, I'm a polyamorous queer witch. Kind of like you, Ashley. Yeah, you've got those vibes. You look like the kind of woman that I was warned about. Yeah, on the compound. You have shoulders and everything. Yeah. Do you sometimes say bad words? All the fucking time. Fuck, you guys, fuck is my favorite swear word. It really is. And I found it in kind of a weird way, right? Because I was on this compound. There were like 30 people. I didn't go to school. Did you guys do this in elementary school? Like I would take my name, or I'd take like Ashley. I'd be like Ashley, Bobashley, Banana Fana, Fofashley, Me, My, Momashly, Ashley. Did you guys do that in the wicked world? You did? So I heard about that in like 1997. And I thought it was pretty cool, so I did it with all the dogs on the compound. I went around, I was like, bell, bell, bo, bell, banana, fana, fo, fel, me, my, mo, mel, bell. And we had a dog named Tucker. And so I was like, Tucker, Tucker, bo, bucker, banana, fana, fo, fucker, me, my, mo, mucker. And then I got cayenne in my mouth. They're like, you said a bad word. I was like, which word was bad? And they didn't tell me. And so I went on a weeks-long quest to figure out which word was the bad word. And I would just sort of like put it in like conversation, be like, man, that horse is a real bucker. Nope, not that one. When I did find it, I told myself that when I had kids, I would not do the same to them. If they wanted swear words, it would be okay. And so my oldest came up to me when she was about 8, and she'd heard about swear words, and so she came up to me and she said, hey, Dad, what's a swear word? And I said, well, it's a kind of word that we say, and it's bad. We've all decided that it's bad. And she said, well, will you give me one? And I said, I will through the veil. I didn't say that, you guys. We weren't in the temple. I said, yeah, I'll give it to you. But here's the thing, like, I'm a little worried about you saying it, like, in front of your grandma or, like, in-laws, or just, I don't want to be embarrassed, you know? And so she said, well, what if you give me one swear word, and then I don't say it for a week, and that'll prove to you that I won't say it, and then I come back and I'll get a new swear word. And I was like, if you can do it for a month, you've got a deal. And we shook hands. And I leaned down into her ear and I said, damn. And she was like, damn. And I was like, yeah, so it's kind of like a verb. Like you damn something or damn people. Or if it's an expletive, like, oh, damn. So she kind of practiced. She went into her room. She's still there saying damn, 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 damn. So I kind of forgot about this. And a month later, she comes up to me and she says, Dad, I have not said damn. And I was like, I have not heard you say damn. So I will give you another word. Through the veil. And so I leaned down and I said, hell. And she was like, cool. And she went on her way. And this went on for months, you guys. I gave her bitch next. I gave her shit, bastard. I was building towards my favorite, which is fuck, right? And then one day, she's riding with my ex in traffic, and someone cuts my ex off, and she just says, fuck! And because my daughter had been in a master class of swearing for 6 months, she immediately knew what that was. She's like, that is a swear word, but because I found it in the wild, it is not bound by the rules of swear words. I can use it whenever the fuck I want, Dad. Which is how my 8-year-old told her teacher to go fuck herself. Pretty proud of that, actually. But yeah, so I found fuck on the compound. When I left, I joined the LDS church for a while because I needed like a diet cult to kind of wean myself into the world. And when I left, they told me that the world would end if I went out and experienced wickedness. And I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. You're welcome. I think I broke it. You guys, I think that of all of the people on earth, God wrecked the world because I left religion. That's how important I am. Even as a heathen, I'm still the one true person. When I left, I tried some wicked things too. Like I said, I was French kissing. I watched a couple of rated R movies. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but if you watch the right ones, you can see boobies. It's pretty great. It's pretty fun out here. A couple years ago now, I guess, 2 years ago, I did something super wicked. I still remember. I have not atoned for it. And it was that I had a pumpkin spice latte. It was so delicious, you guys. It was like Thanksgiving came in my mouth. And it was kind of a bummer too, because I don't know about you guys, but when COVID happened, at first I looked around and I was like, is this it? Like, is this version of the apocalypse? Sweet, we're gonna be inside for this one. Because I gotta be real, I was expecting a lot worse. I was promised rivers running with blood and genetic violations of dogs. I was a whole thing. And what I got instead was like Tiger King, which is a pretty great apocalypse. Some of you, though, weren't really prepared. Like some of you weren't raised in a doomsday polygamist cult, and it shows. Because I wasn't the one who bought up all the toilet paper. Right? I know how to shit in the woods and use a stick. When COVID happened, though, everyone kind of lost their minds, right? Everyone's surprised. Everyone's like, oh my God, what's happening? Except for the Mormons. Because the Mormons were like, behold! The abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet is upon us. For a genetically engineered supervirus has been unleashed upon the world by the godless Chinese communists. And it shall purge the wicked from the world. The first horseman of the apocalypse is upon us, and his name is pestilence. That was a voicemail that I got from my dad. It was actually really sweet, you guys. Because he just wanted me to know that I had a place to go to when the calamities happened. And I had to tell him, Dad, I would rather die out here. Like, I would rather die just clutching my pumpkin spice latte and just French kissing every boob I can find. If I gotta go, I gotta go. I actually kind of patched things up with my dad recently, and kind of a surprise turn of events. Yeah, do you want me to tell you about how I did it? First, I told him to go fuck himself. I was like, fuck you and your stupid religion. You abused me and you labor trafficked me. It wasn't cool. Stop. And then I left for like 5 years. And then I started to feel sad. I started to feel like, oh, I wish I had a dad. I wish I had my dad. And I did some therapy, and I kind of like got in touch with myself, and I like parented my inner child and like held crystals and chanted Kumbaya. It was great. And then I was like, I really wish that I could have a dad in my life. And so I did what everyone who wants a dad in their life does. I went to Burning Man. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Burning Man is like the opposite of Utah. So like if there's a place in the cosmos that is the entire opposite of Mormon Utah, it's Burning Man. It is a pagan festival out in the desert, and all of the wicked things that you could possibly imagine are there. I know I tried 97% of them. And while I was there, I was walking around one day and I was just feeling like actually pretty excited. I was feeling like I'd found something that was meaningful, right? That I'd found something that was like kind of what I always wanted Mormonism to be, but it wasn't. Mormonism for me was kind of flat. So I'm walking around this place. There's a naked dude just walking like that. There's a unicorn with a onesie twirling in the air. I don't even know how right there. And I'm looking around and I'm thinking, this is Babylon. This is literal Babylon. I found it. It's a place. It's right here. And I felt really sad because I felt like none of my family would ever be there with me. Right? Like, no one in my family, like, I can't go to my dad and be like, Dad, do you want to go to Burning Man? We'll drop acid and watch the world unveil. That's not my dad's idea of a good time. And so I can't do that. And so I was feeling really sad. And then I looked up and I saw these giant red letters on a sign and it just said, free dad advice. And I was like, I am in need of some free dad advice. And so I strolled into the camp and I just said, hey, I'm here for the free dad advice. And the 65-year-old woman took me aside and she said, I've been waiting for you. She sat me down and she said, tell me what your question is. And I said, well, I don't have a great relationship with my dad. And I don't know if I need one. Like, should I just kind of let it go? Do I invest? Like, I just want to know how to spend my energy. And she told me, grow up, call your dad, and ask him to be your dad. Tell him about what's going on in your life and ask for his advice. And I was like, it's that easy? That's all I have to do? Thank you, Sharon from Burning Man. And I got up to leave, and she's like, hold on, come over here. Like, tell me a little bit more about your dad. And I said, well, he's a Mormon polygamist man with 3 wives and 16 kids. And she said, hold on, I have some new advice for you. And it is give up. Just let it go. Your dad probably can't be there for you the way that you want him to be. And I was like, I don't like that advice. And so I left and I decided, I was like, I'm gonna do it, right? I'm gonna go ahead and call my dad anyway, because like then I'll know, right? Then I've taken the action where I've asked for the thing that I want, and he can say yes or he can say no. And he'll probably say no, but that's fine. Then I'll know that I can hate him. And so a couple weeks went by, I didn't call him. A couple more weeks went by, I didn't call him. And then he called me. And he said, it was shocking, actually. And he said, hey, I've been thinking about you, and I want to take you out to lunch next time I'm in town, and I want to talk. And I was like, sweet, I want to talk to you, Dad. I have a message from the sinful places to tell you about how I want you to be my dad, even though I'm wicked. So he took me out to lunch, and he told me, he was like, hey, I was talking with your uncle, Cody, the other day. Everyone really loves Cody Brown. You guys, my uncle's Cody. He's the guy from the Sister Wives show. He really is. Yeah. And generally that's the reaction that he gets. A lot of groans. I'm on a couple of the shows, but I'm like in the background doing this. It's not that I don't want to be seen, I just don't want to be seen on TLC. So my dad's like, I was having a chat with your Uncle Cody, and he said, like, he told me about a conversation you guys had, and I was feeling like you opened up to him in that conversation in a way that you've never opened up to me. And I was like, you mean that 5-second conversation I had with Uncle Cody 7 years ago? I should talk to you more, Dad. And he said, I just want you to know that I want to be available for you as your dad. I want to be there. And I know that you're very different from me, but I want you to know that you can confide in me. And I was like, well, Dad, I have something to confide in you right now. I went to Burning Man, where I did all of the drugs. I was just walking around like, 1 try of the drugs, please. I'm just kidding, you guys. There are no drugs at Burning Man. None, 0. They're not there. You can't find them. They're not there. So I told him everything that I did at Burning Man, and I said, Dad, I want you to be my dad. I want you to be my dad. I want you to be available to me. I want to be able to call you if I'm feeling sad. I want to be, for your first response to not be repent. That can be your second response, but first, love me. And he said, I'm not going to agree with everything that you do. And I was like, I can guarantee that. I've done 7 of those things this morning. The first one was showing my elbows. But he said, I want to be there for you. And so currently I have a dad. Yeah. I'll call him up sometimes and I'll be like, Dad, something's hard and I don't like it. And he'll be like, well, is it your fault? And I'm like, we got to work on that. We got to work on his bedside manner. But it's turning out pretty great. You guys, we are almost to the end of our time. And I know, I feel the same way. Because I've had so much fun with you. But I want to talk about a couple of things before I get out of here. And the first thing I want to talk about is kind of personal, kind of important. But we've all been on, or not all of us, but the Exmos in here, we've been on a similar journey. Right? We've been on a similar journey. And I want to thank you for going on that journey and for being on that journey with me and coming to this show, right? Coming to laugh about it. Because it's a funny experience that we've all had, right? We are a part of a religion, or we're a part of a religion that started because a dude was talking to a rock, which is pretty cool. Hang on, something's ringing. Hang on, you guys. Shh. I'm trying to talk to God, you guys. Weirdly, he just told that you two should marry me. And he wants you to go to England. Rather convenient. It also told me that you all and I don't have to let Mormonism define belief for us. And I want to end with a couple of things. I'm going to tell one more story, and then I'm going to make a couple of announcements, and then I'm going to sing you a couple of hymns that I wrote. I wrote some hymns, and I have to tell you guys the truth. You guys, the reason that I wrote hymns is because anytime I hear hymns, I get horny. And it's not my fault, you guys. It's not my fault. It's because my dad, when I was a teenager and I would get horny, he would tell me to sing a hymn to make it go away. And now, I can't come unless I hear Come, Come Ye Saints. Or How Firm a Foundation. Or Master, my tempest is raging. The billows are tossing high. So that's what we're going to do. But I want to end with this story, which is the story of how I found belief again. Because after I left the LDS church for a long time, I was hardcore atheist. I was like, the only things that are real are science and facts. And then I'd stomp the ground to prove how real I was. And that was pretty great. I went on a big kick. I didn't take a lot of science classes when I was a kid, mostly because I didn't go to school. It's hard to take science classes when you're working in a bakery. But I was atheist for a while, and then I started to feel like it was a little stale for me. Like I started to feel like I missed some of the magic of belief. And I wanted that back. I wanted there to be a way for me to believe in things that didn't feel stuck in control or power or greed. And so I went to a music festival in somebody's house. and I heard someone singing a song, and it was a very cool lady. Her name is Sarah Solstice, and she is from Saturn. She is, and she only eats air and light, and for about 5 minutes, she had me convinced that I could do the same. And she had taken a bunch of old Christian worship songs and had kind of turned them into some fancy EDM music, and then she was singing for all of us. And it was the most magical thing I'd ever experienced. I felt this profound sense of awe in my body, something that I'd never felt before. And I looked up at her singing, and I wanted to worship that. I didn't want to worship her. I wanted to worship the thing that was coming through her. And so I fell to my knees, and I cried, and I just worshiped. And then I came in her face. Okay, a couple things before I go. You guys. The first thing is I want to just give a quick shout out to my buddy Andrew of Red 5 Productions. Andrew is the guy who is filming me tonight, and he is a really good friend. So if you are a business owner, if you need like any kind of filming done for marketing or sales or business, talk to Andrew after the show. He does really, really quality work, and I want to just kind of send him your way. The other thing I want to talk about is, I know we've told some jokes about polygamy. I know we've told some jokes about growing up in kind of a traumatic environment. I just want to let you know that it is traumatic, right? There are literally thousands of children right now who are growing up in homes that are less than ideal, who are experiencing neglect and abuse, and are so steeped in this worldview that it's very difficult to get them out. And there's an organization that I really love. It's called Cherish Families. So write this down or put it in your phone, Cherish Families. It's a really lovely organization that helps people transitioning from polygamy step into the wicked world. And it's very difficult to do that, you guys. I did that mostly by myself, and I had to pay for it by myself. And I've literally spent probably $15,000 on therapy to just be able to be here and kind of talk to you like this. A lot of people who leave polygamy are not as fortunate as I am. And so if you are looking for a cool place to spend your extra 10%, I would really highly recommend Cherish Families. They are just a really fantastic organization. I also want to pitch me a little bit. So this has kind of been a lifelong dream of mine. This is my first headlining set. I want to do more of these. So here's what I need from you guys. Number one, I need you to all join my tribe. So pull out your phones. Scan this. Put your money where your mouth is. Okay, this you can come grab it after. I'll still have it. That'll take you to my website. It's live as of today. I built it myself. It's called The Fresh King Benjamin, and at the very bottom there is a little form that you can fill out, and that will give me your contact information. And what I will do is I will immediately sell that to the LDS Church. Because you can buy anything in this world with money. No, I won't. What I'll do with that is I'll use it to contact you about when my next show is. And that's really all I'm going to do. I'm just going to tell you where the next show is, what's going to happen. If you liked this show, you can let Wise Guys know. You can say, hey, wise guys, we really love that Fresh King Benjamin guy. Bring him around. You can come out and support other comics. There's so many great local comics here in Utah, and so many of them are ex-Mormon and have really funny ways of taking the wild, crazy experience that we all had and turning it into something funny. So that's another way. The last thing is that, as you probably may have guessed, this is new for me, right? I did my first open mic in May of 21. So just under 2 years ago. Thanks. I'm super brave. But this isn't paying any bills. So the way I pay bills is I'm a business consultant. I work with small businesses between like 5 and 50 employees, and I help entrepreneurs get more results with less money and with less time, with less stress. Something about growing up on a compound and learning how to run a business by age 14 makes it pretty easy to do that. So if you're one of those people and you want to talk to me, you want to work with me, let's chat. I can do that for you. I have diet cult stickers that should not be put anywhere. I want you to listen to me, you guys. If you buy a diet cult sticker, don't put it anywhere. You hear me? Don't put it there. Don't. But they're $6.66. I'll be hanging out right over there, right outside the building. You can come, you can say hi, you can buy that from me. I'm gonna go out on a couple of hymns, you guys. And I want to preface this by saying that I'm not about to do this because I'm good at it. I'm about to do it because this is a really true expression of who I am. And one of the things that gets lost when you grow up in a cult is that you get yourself repressed. And one of the most beautiful things that I've found after leaving is who I am. And so right after I left, I did a lot of therapy. And when I started, hang on, I'm still new to technology, so. So when I started the therapy, I immediately started to feel very sad. There was all this sadness that I'd kind of stored up in my body, and as it kind of came out, I wrote a really sad song. And so I know that it's not really something you usually do at a comedy show, but I'm going to sing you a really sad song. Will you guys indulge me? Thanks. Hear that? That better? Sweet. I feel like I'm Elvis fucking Presley. So this is a song that is written in the voice of my 9-year-old self, and it's dedicated to anyone who That's actually the whole song, you guys. And it's dedicated to anyone who was hurt or harmed by someone that should have loved them. Cold from my head to my soul. I'm cold. And this room's growing mold. I can see my breath in the air. Need some help, but you are unaware. Alone, with 18 of us at home. I'm alone. Guess I'll make it on my own. Don't know why you do the things you do. I wish I weren't living here with you. I wish I were somewhere else. I would take anywhere else. It's hard working when it's dark. It's hard and always on your guard. Family ought to be a place you're safe, not somewhere from which you must escape. Pain and misery and shame. Pain, and the story is to blame. I don't want to do the things you do. Just want to be so far away from you. I want to be somewhere else with somebody else. You made me who I am with your neglect. Don't owe you an ounce of my respect. You put me in a factory instead of in a school. I was not your son, I was your tool. And now I'm somewhere else. And you can go fuck yourself. I'm with somebody else. Go fuck yourself. Thanks, you guys. Thank you. Thank you. So I played that song. I wrote that song and I cried a whole bunch. And then I played it for my friends and they cried a whole bunch, which is great. It's really nice when your friends cry for you. And then I remembered something really, really important about my life. And it's that my life was never going to be a tragedy. My life has always been a comedy. And so I wrote this song. There we go. I'm too high. Oh, he's too high. It's probably true. Do you guys want to hear a funny story about Marcus?
Yes.
So I went to Vegas with Marcus once. And while I was in Vegas, as a very young and innocent polygamous boy, Marcus gave me a whole shit ton of marijuana and a couple of mushrooms. And then I killed that night, crushed. And then I wandered out into Vegas, and he didn't see me again for 6 months. And in the meantime, I won Vegas. If you want to know how I won Vegas, you'll have to come to my next headlining set. Okay, this is the song that I wrote when I decided that my life was going to be a comedy. Born into poverty, my youth was inauspicious, perfectly designed to make ye hungry and ambitious. The nights were cold, the days were long, the food was not nutritious. My parents worked us half to death and then they'd fucking hit us. Inauspicious, ambitious, nutritious, hit us. The fact that I am here at all is sadly adventitious. So as a boy I was a little bit mischievous, because my life was odd and I was smart and curious. I grew up on a compound 'cause the world was quite suspicious. So I wandered in a story that was toxic and pernicious. Mischievous, curious, suspicious, pernicious. The world that I grew up in was so goddamn superstitious. So my parents failed to care for us, though it was not malicious. It simply was because they were just too religious. There were children running everywhere because we were polygamous. And all the pleasures of this world were banned for being frivolous, malicious, religious, polygamous, frivolous. Living locked inside a cult gets dull and repetitious. But we hoped that Jesus would return and then he would divide us. The righteous into paradise, the wicked to detritus. And everyone would worship right and none would be seditious. And y'all would finally take your proper place, which was beneath us. Divide us, detritus, seditious. Beneath us, our hearts were polished iron by a virtue almost vicious. What set me free, I must confess, were feelings quite lascivious. Turns out I'm a naughty boy, and pussy's ridiculous. My life is so much better now, it sometimes feels fictitious. And since I left that shit behind, my future's been propitious. Ridiculous, whatever I said, ridiculous, propitious. I hope you don't feel bad for me, 'cause my life's so delicious. Thanks, you guys. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for being here. Get home safe, you guys.